This is why you die.
Hello all and welcome back to This Is Why You Died, the horror show that has been to the dimension on the other side of the veil and returned as something stranger. I am what remains of Sir Ian Dangerous, aka your Uncle Frank, and joining me as always are the man with the strange unsettling darkness behind his eyes, Dan Marcha Madness, and the thing wearing the skin of the man formerly known as Ryan Ross Live. Hello, gentlemen. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Here we are again. Oh, my goodness. I'm so excited
So it's
about
not Childs. It was
Yes.
Ryan Ross is the thing.
It was me the whole time.
It's debatable whether or not Childs was the thing, or maybe it was Kurt Russell. Maybe they didn't know they were the thing. It's one of the greatest endings of all time.
And we'll
But
find out in The Thing Part 2.
Fuck
God.
that noise. I'm so worried about that movie. But we're not here to talk about The Thing. We're here to talk about another movie. Dan picked the movie today because
Sure did.
we are the show that discusses films that we choose based on prompts that we draw at random from the 666 words and phrases in our buckets of the beast. Dan, you picked the prompt today. I'm very excited to talk about the movie that you have chosen. But of course, as always, we have some stuff to get to before we can talk about that movie. We've got the Marcha Minute. We've got horror news. And before anything, though, I want to check in on you boys. How are you guys coming into the show? How are you feeling this evening as we record this?
I have a little tidbit to share with you both about a note from Wishmaster, because I was listening with Tot to the Wishmaster episode recently, and we had a specific note from Ian that you mentioned that your girlfriend is a appraiser of gems,
Yes.
and mentioned harmonic resonance scanners would be the way to do it. Tot, in very Tot fashion, Sasha in her like ADHD. I should look this up. She looked it up. Turns out harmonic resonance imaging wasn't actually developed until the late 90s. So it is possible that in Wishmaster the technology was not available to have harmonic resonance testing yet.
Oh.
And so he might not have had the option.
Maybe they watched Wishmaster and went, shooting a rock with lasers is really a bad way to appraise a stone, and we don't want to unleash a genie accidentally. So maybe we should just use sound waves instead, and that's where we got it from.
Interesting
Wow.
timing, but it's likely that it was probably written at least before that came out, let alone if it came out kind of around the time that it was discovered.
I'm going to stick to my theory that they just had no idea what the fuck they were doing with rocks.
That's
because
probably true too.
the gem does not look like a fire opal in
No.
Wishmaster. They were just like, it's a red stone.
It's a ruby-looking thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a pretty rock that we made out of plastic, and we shoot it with lasers, and somebody blows himself up. But Wishmaster was a great movie. That was an awesome episode. But tell Tot thank you for looking that up on Google and finding out that interesting tidbit.
It was fun.
Speaking of interesting tidbits, we got to do a little bit of horror news.
Ooh. Let's hear it.
Yes. All right. So this week, we recently, about 5 years ago, it was the 30th anniversary. So I think this is the 35th anniversary of Andrzej Zulawski's Possession, which came out in 1981, which is a phenomenal, seminal movie. And you couldn't get it forever because it's a very difficult movie as well. I know, Ryan, you have not seen it. Dan, I know you've seen Possession.
Yes, once.
Accurate.
Oh, what a movie. But it's being remade. They are remaking more movies. They're remaking Possession. And in this particular instance, Parker Finn, the man who wrote and directed the Smile movies, is writing and directing a remake of Possession, which will star Margaret Qualley from
Ooh.
yes, from The Substance, and Callum Turner will also be in it. And there was a bidding war for this property. A24, Paramount, Sony, Warner Brothers, Netflix, they were all bidding to get this project, and Paramount ultimately secured the remake. Whether or not they will keep it now that they're picking up Warner Brothers, we shall see. We'll see. But it is apparently it's being filmed very soon. I don't know how to feel about this because I feel like that's one of those movies that very much is a time and the place movie. Like it was filmed right next to the Berlin Wall in Berlin at the time, and just the atmosphere that it took place in is a big part of like the feeling of the movie, which is just the would you agree, Dan? Like the atmosphere of that movie is a huge part of it.
I definitely would, but I think that if you're gonna remake a movie and give it to somebody, I think that giving it to a talented director like Parker Finn is great. It's just that if he can find a new reason to tell the story, that's the problem. Is sometimes they'll just remake a horror movie because this was successful in the past. Let's just give it some more money. We have new cameras, we've got new effects. Let's just make it bigger, better. But then they just kind of remake it, and it just it's like, well, that you lost the message of what the first movie was even about because you're focused on something else. So if he can remake it but find a new reason to tell the story, or a new kind of a new foundation to build it upon, but still kind of keep the heart of what the movie was, then I think that's the reason to remake it. But just to remake a movie, just to remake it, that's where the studio system can kind of either win or lose. This is the thing is,
I think you hit the nail on the head, because I think that's the thing that I'm worried is going to be missing from this new movie. I mean, Parker Finn, as you say, talented director. I like the Smile movies. I thought Smile 2 was particularly outstanding.
Better than the first. Oh my gosh.
By a lot.
Good. Yeah.
But at the same time, they are a little bit of style over substance, pardon the pun. And the thing about the original Possession is that's a movie that's really easy to walk away from and just go, oh yeah, tentacle beast sex and
Ryan,
the weird.
You got to watch this movie, Ryan.
No, Ryan's like, what now? I'm in. But also Isabella Gianni's freak out in the subway. Like there are some really iconic moments in that movie that are very kind of like David Lynchian, but it's also a lot of the director's own feelings and emotions of having this horrible real life divorce projected onto this movie and how he was feeling about that. And it is a very misogynistic movie because of that. Just like a lot of the movies that deal with male divorce, like they're like I'm trying to remember, was it Cronenberg? David Cronenberg did a bunch of movies where he was getting a divorce and they were all like The Brood, and he was super mad at his ex-wife, right?
Oh wow.
So Possession's kind of like that, where it's got so much of the director's DNA in it that I wonder if he's going to be able to capture that same essence of the movie, because otherwise what's the point in remaking it? You know, that's what made the movie so good. So anyway, that is the news. The Possession remake is off and running. And I think that Ryan also has some horror news. Is that correct, Mr.
I have a little horror gaming news for us.
Let's go.
So it's one of our favorite gaming topics is Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight has 3 collabs coming at the end of April going into May in their next season. And 2 of them are horror adjacent, but one is very horror squared. For anybody who knows Darkest Dungeon is also a very horror edgy game. They are doing a collab with Darkest Dungeon, the anime Attack on Titan, and then they are doing a collab with the Alien franchise all in one season, where they're adding a bunch of content for skins and things for different characters within the game. Darkest Dungeon has a bunch of character skins, including there's like a collector nurse, and a bunch of characters get skins based off of the different classes of the characters you can play in the game, like the Highwayman and the Hellion and such. And then the Attack on Titan has already been a collab in the game for skins for the characters before, but they are building in the skins and adding new ones into a 2v8 mode where you're going to be fighting against the Titans and have like a special mode dedicated to it.
How are you going to fight a Titan that's like 500 feet tall in Dead by Daylight?
It's unclear if they're going to actually do the giant Titan thing. They have done a mode where they've had a giant killer and little mini survivors. It's unclear if they're bringing that back for this, but they do have a couple killers that they've like themed like they are Titans from the anime. I haven't seen it, so I don't know as much about Attack on Titan. But Alien, they do have Ellen Ripley and the Xenomorph as characters in the game, and they have a couple skins associated with the movies. Now they are doing a collab where they are bringing a specific outfit to one of the characters based off of the Space Marines in the series, and then the male protagonist from Aliens, whose name I don't know offhand. One of the
Hicks?
Hicks. Rick something. Aliens. Let me double check here.
Yeah, which character? I
Hudson?
Alien
mean,
franchise
Aliens,
collab.
one of the Marines. I
Lieutenant
imagine.
Gorman?
It's the one. I know it's specifically from the movie Aliens.
Yeah, that's where all the Marines are.
Correct.
That's the one with the Marines. The Marines.
I will double check it so in order to save us some time. But I know it's a specific. I know it's a very specific
Bishop?
character from
Frosty?
Aliens. You're gonna just keep naming things. You have to recognize. I
Sergeant-
haven't seen the
Sergeant
thing.
Apone?
It's William Hudson.
Oh, it's Hudson. Bill. Okay, so the
It is Hudson.
Bill Paxton character.
Oh, that's
Paxton.
cool.
Yeah,
I
so
love that.
Yeah.
It's a
Game
legendary
over, man!
skin.
Game over!
It's a legendary skin where you can turn Ellen Ripley essentially into William Hudson instead.
Oh, okay.
And now they have two different protagonists from the franchise in the game.
That's weird.
Wait, so have they always had the xenomorph in the game?
It got added years ago.
Okay.
They
And
basically
you know
they
that
constantly
Ryan
add.
was all over it when it came
Oh,
out.
I'm
He's like,
sure.
"Oh,
he loves
finally."
that movie.
It was added in
Yes.
2023, August 29th.
okay. All right. Been there
Not
for
too
a
long
minute.
ago.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
Alien-
Honestly,
with-
the alien is designed the way the Demogorgon from Stranger Things should have been. It can like tunnel under the map, and survivors
Oh,
can
that's
set up little
cool.
flame turrets to like defend from it because it can
Oh, that's
pop
fun.
up out of little like computer
that's
hutches
spooky.
around the map and like skid around. And it's got a tail whip
Yeah.
attack. It crawls on
They,
all fours.
Love
Speaking
it.
of the Xenomorph and news, Alien Isolation 2.
Correct. Also coming
Which-
soon.
What?
Which, holy shit,
Wow.
what a game that was. If you want to talk about horror games, that's one we should do for our patrons sometime.
That's a
Play
good
Oh yeah,
one.
that'd be a good
Of
one.
Alien
That is a
Isolation.
good one to play.
Pants shitting terror, that game.
One of the
Holy crap.
best like AI
Mhm.
but not true AI. This was pre like
Totally.
programmed AI, but one of the best like computational behavioral adjusting killers that you'll ever play in a game. It literally
What'd you say?
adapts to your behavior.
Yeah.
That's
no,
crazy. That's
so
cool.
good. Such good stuff. But yeah. Very, very exciting.
Wow.
Maybe another reason to go back to Dead by Daylight. We're becoming almost like a Dead by Daylight adjacent show.
We
at
are.
this
We
point.
should get sponsored
It's
by
the
them.
big horror game. There's
We talk
others
about
out
them every
there, but it's the
episode.
one that's around all the time.
Speaking of around all the time, Dan Marcha Madness is always around on this show, and he
Sure am.
look at Ryan.
Oh my
he's
god, he's
I'm
already
ready.
set up.
It is
Click on the
time
draw.
for one of our new features that we have
Oh,
in
no.
this
Here we go.
season 3. It is the Marcha Minute, where Dan has to talk for a minute straight about a topic of his choice. So once again, we will dive into the fetid brain that is residing on the shoulders of that man right over there, sitting across the way from me with the
Oh
with
my
the
gosh,
nice
here we
shirt
go.
on. It's a nice shirt you got there, Dan.
Nice
for
shirt
those of you
for
who are
s-
watching on YouTube, he's wearing. I know he's very
What's
appropriate for the
happening?
show today. Look at
Look
that.
at Ryan, just like get over with it. Start this
Ryan is
minute.
He's getting too much time to prepare. I'm quick on the draw.
Okay. Well, we'll get right into it then. It's time to go for the Marcha Minute. Go, Dan, go.
Okay, here we go. I just want to say that I am having so much faith in Mr. James Gunn and what he is doing with the DC universe, because if you have recently seen the
50 seconds.
Clayface trailer, this is true horror. And what's so great is that James Gunn has said, like, someone commented on an X or
40
Twitter or
seconds.
whatever. He said that, like, is this going to be, are we going to expect more of DC tiptoeing into genre? And he said, let me get this straight. Like, let me put this out there.
30 seconds.
This isn't a superhero
30
movie
seconds,
with
Dan.
horror twinge in it. This is a horror movie. And if you've seen this trailer, it looks fantastic. I mean, like, there's some
20 seconds.
weird body horror stuff. It looks really great. I mean, the fact that, like,
15 seconds.
Flanagan has written
15
this.
seconds, Dan.
I am so excited to see what they do. They tease a little bit of Gotham
seconds.
City in it, so
10 seconds,
I'm
Dan.
very excited. Very excited what James Gunn do it, and I'm excited
5
they
seconds.
just went straight up horror for Clayface.
Hey,
Oh,
he had
he
a little
brought it
time
in
to
perfectly.
stare.
Oh, he's got 0.26 seconds left to go. Very nice, Dan. Look, you're getting better at this. You
Get
brought the
better,
plane
get
in
better, get better,
perfectly.
getting better.
I don't know, man. I think
He's
that we
been
should
practicing
hide
in the mirror.
We gotta
hide the button. So I know.
hide the button so we can't see
Hit
all
it
you
and
hear is
hide
us
it.
calling it out to it. Because I could see him like, okay, I've got 3 seconds left. I gotta
I
do
can do it.
Yeah,
I can do it.
more.
I can do it.
Yeah, I think it's not. That's too. That's
But
unfair.
did you guys see this? Did you guys see the trailer or no?
I
I've
did
seen-
see the Clayface.
I've seen the preview image. I haven't watched the trailer yet.
I got the goosies watching that Clayface trailer. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good trailer, and I'm so excited for this angle that they're taking on the
I
character.
love that they tease the Gotham like city element of
Mhm.
it. Like I love that they're not leaning on this is Batman. Like they're not leaning into that world. It's like this movie is gonna be great on its own.
Well, it's
Just
like
watch it
Joker.
for what this
Like-
is. Yeah.
Like the
Right.
Joker movie, where like we don't need
Mhm.
to do the Batman stuff. We're doing its own thing. Penguin
Yeah.
show, right? Like, yes,
Right.
it's the Batman world, but we can do stuff just about his rogues gallery. And
Yeah.
it's something that I feel like they learned during Batman the Animated Series, where
Mm.
this iteration of Clayface came from, where like the whole idea that, Mr. Freeze was trying to save his wife. Like they gave the characters all these amazing backstories
Right.
and fleshed them out a lot more than you had even in the comic books. And it's iterations of the bad guys and ideas and concepts about the bad guys that are still continuing to this day.
Right.
So
right.
it's very exciting that they're doing this, and I love the fact that they're like, it's an R-rated movie.
Mhm.
We are doing a fucking hard R horror capital
Yeah.
H movie about Clayface. Yeah. So I have the image of him in the bandages staring at the camera stuck in my head. It's
Yeah.
such a creepy image.
I'm very excited
It's so
for
great.
it. I want them to do a Two-Face one. Two-Face would be sick too.
Ooh, that would be a great horror movie.
They've yet to do a proper Two-Face in the movies. They did the
Mhm.
2-part episode in animated series of Two-Face is phenomenal, but they've never nailed it in the movies.
Yeah.
Ever.
You didn't like Nolan's version
No.
of Two-Face?
Nolan's Batman movies suck ass.
Wow.
And
Whoa.
I
no
think that
way.
2
All
is a
three.
great 2 is a great crime movie. It's not a great Batman movie.
Wow.
1 is a fun comic book movie, but it's not a great Batman movie. 3 is apocalyptically bad. It's atrocious on every level and should never be included in the Batman canon.
But what about Ledger?
Ledger is incredible. Ledger
Okay,
is a phenomenal
okay.
Joker.
We don't have to fight
It's a-
today.
It's
like-
a phenomenal take on the Joker. However, it is its own thing, and I think that it's a kind of an alternate look at the Joker. I don't think that it's an iconic Joker. Mark Hamill still is the best Joker.
I agree. Mark
Mhm.
Hamill is the best Joker. I do think Heath did an incredible job defining
The
a
performance is
unique.
great.
Yes.
It's incredible, and I also
Yeah.
think that's cool because I think I don't think Hamill's Joker would have worked in kind of the gritty thing that they were going for. The
No.
fact that he was able to make something, especially coming after Hamill and also all of the Jokers that preceded him, like Nicholson and all these other ones. Like it's pretty tough to come up with something unique that feels like iconic in that way to the level of that character. I do think that that's a master performance, but I can hear what I do.
Agreed.
I think that Conroy and Hamill will always be my Batman and Joker.
Mhm, mhm.
Ledger easily takes second, and I think that everything else is miles behind.
Yeah, I think he's a phenomenal take on the Joker, and I agree. He's the reason to watch that movie. But we're
Mhm.
not here to talk about
No?
Batman movies. That's for a bonus episode or something like that. We're going to get this ship back on track because we are here to talk about horror movies. And in particular, I'm very excited today to talk about this one because Dan Marcha Madness,
My
you
choice.
chose the one today. Would you like to tell everybody
Sure did.
what was your prompt and what did you choose?
Oh, my prompt was the word evil. And so I didn't
Such
go weird. I didn't go off. I went super straightforward and I just chose Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
Yes. And so, yeah. And it's such an iconic horror movie that we had to visit it. So
I think it's the
that
first
was
time
my
we've jumped
choice.
straight to a sequel too.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask, Dan, is
Yes.
what made you want to do 2 instead of 1?
So what I do remember, and it had been years since I had seen both of these, but what I had remembered was that when I saw the one, I was like, that was great. Let's watch 2. And I remember being like, why is 2 the same thing as 1? And I was so confused. I was like, why did he just remake 1 but then after the first 15 minutes, it becomes this whole brand new different movie.
Mhm.
And so, when you look up the history to it, is that Raimi lost the rights to Evil Dead, and so when he wanted to make the next movie to establish all the story of the Book of the Dead and all that, he had to basically just kind of remake it. So the first 15 minutes of Evil Dead 2 are essentially a remake of Evil Dead, and then the rest of the movie is his continuation of that story. And so I wanted to do it because although Evil Dead is like this iconic kind of indie horror with like practical effects, this, I felt like, from what I can remember, I remember that Evil Dead 2 just went this whole totally different direction and is just this kind of mix of horror, jump scare, slapstick comedy that's taking in all these different elements that just really defined Raimi and really set up Ash as like this iconic character, that I just felt like I wanted to see this movie first as opposed to Evil Dead, because I feel like if we're going to watch Evil Dead, I'd love to watch Evil Dead and then the remake of Evil Dead, because those two movies are great to like watch back to back.
Yeah.
Definitely, because what they did with the remake was remarkable and fantastic, and why we get 2 Evil Dead movies coming back up this year and next year back to back. So it's a fun franchise, and this movie is just, it's up there with one of the best. So I thought we had to watch it, and that was the reason why I chose 2 over 1.
It's a fair decision. I agreed with it entirely. I think if you want a way into the Evil Dead franchise, going to 2 first is kind of the way to do it, and then you can go look at where it came from later. But especially the way that this leads into 3 and then the series and everything like this, real, as you say, I think this is the entry point. So I agree. I think this was the way in. And I'm very curious to see what Ryan thought, because Ryan, did you have any experience with the Evil Dead franchise at all up until this point? Like, I think you might have known Ash from video games, or did you know anything about this?
I only knew about Ash from Dead by Daylight. Ash is in Dead by Daylight. And I knew the name of the series. I think I've seen parts of Army of Darkness in passing, but I haven't seen any of the rest of them to my knowledge. And I knew very little other than, like, I guess some stuff that we should probably hit spoiler warning for, but like I knew a little bit, I guess is the way to put it. I didn't know very much at all.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to hit the spoiler warning pretty soon, because we do have to get into some plot stuff here to talk about how the first Evil Dead movie ties into this one, and then this one ties into Army of Darkness, etc., etc. But it is a very kind of strange history of these movies and how Sam Raimi got them made. And as you said, Dan, like he lost the rights to the first one, and so this one he was having trouble getting money for it, and actually Stephen King helped put in a good word with Dino De Laurentiis for him.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, because Stephen King was actually, he's the one that kind of helped make the first one a big deal, because he put out a blurb that it was the most ferocious horror movie ever made, or something like that. And that blurb actually really propelled the success of that movie. So Stephen King had a weird lot to do with the success.
He
of these
still
movies.
does, which is pretty cool. Like, he puts out a tweet about a movie or a book he read, and people go crazy. They're like, "Oh, we got to watch this movie. Oh, we got to read that book."
Chasing that Evil Dead dragon of like, really got some shit done with that. But let's get into talking about Evil Dead. Let's take off the shackles and spoil everything going forward. So everybody, it is time for that spoiler warning. Hit it, lady.
Spoiler alert. All spoilers, including character deaths and plot twists, are now authorized. You have been warned.
Bam, bam, bam. Spoiler warning. There it is. That's right. Going forward, we're going to spoil the crap out of a movie that is 40 years old. So, and if you haven't seen Evil Dead 2 and you're listening to our show, what are you doing? Go watch it. It's fun for the whole family. Even though when it came out, this is so crazy to watch this movie now, because, boys, can you believe when this movie came out, they had to actually create a whole production company because Dino De Laurentiis could not release this movie unrated because of his deal with the MPAA.
Oh,
and
wow.
the MPAA said, with the current cut, it will get an X if we release it.
Wow.
An X. And it was rated X in England and the UK, and it was actually banned there for its violence.
Wow.
Wow.
And so they created Rosebud as a way to release this movie unrated to the theaters so that Dino De Laurentiis could still release it. Because now, This movie, it kind of invented Splatstick, the idea of having like comedy and horror, but like Three Stooges, but super gory.
Yeah.
This and Reanimator kind of back to back created the whole kind of sub genre. What did you think about the violence in this movie? Is this a movie that you look at now and go, this is X-rated violence?
I don't think so. I don't think that it goes to X-rated. It's definitely violent. It's definitely gory. It definitely is very cheesy, almost to the point of painful sometimes. Of like, you really have to buy in to the cheesiness of it, because like at first you're like, what the hell? And then you're like, okay, they know what they're doing. Like there's no way that this can't be intentional. But sometimes it's a little like, it can be a little hard to swallow. Yeah, I think that the gore elements are extreme, to be fair, and I'm sure back then was a lot more uncommon. Now it kind of just seems silly. A lot of it's just very silly. The fire hose through the wall of blood just spraying into his face. Like all sorts of just stuff that you're like, okay, sure, like why not?
They kick the creature and the eyeball pops out and goes flying across the room and down the
inner mouth,
the chick's throat. Yeah,
love it.
There's some stuff in this that's just so goofy. But there's the thing is, I remember seeing this movie back in the day when it was still like considered so violent and so gross, and we were laughing at this shit then.
Oh yeah,
like I don't know what I mean. It shows you how prudish the MPAA was at the time for seeing the blood in this, and they actually recolored some of the blood while they were shooting it because they knew we can't have this all be red, because they literally time how much time red blood is on screen.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Which
That's
is crazy.
That
it's such an arbitrary bullshit way of defining it, but they're like, yeah, there was red blood on screen for 12 minutes and 86 seconds, you know.
That's wild.
So they made some of the blood green, some of it black and whatnot, just to try to get the rating down a little bit. Still didn't matter. My favorite shot in the whole movie is fairly early, where like first off, the girlfriend gets decapitated and he buries her or whatever. And first off, hold on. I have two different things. One, he buries the girlfriend's body, but apparently not her head for some reason. And we've got this, I said out loud when we were watching, he has this big cross he's made out of logs, and he stabs into the ground. And as he stabs into the ground, I was like, man. And then lightning cracked, and that was hilarious. And he has that expression on that big old Bruce Campbell head of his. You just, what have I done? And everything is so exaggerated. Like you get, and it's funny because, as Dan said, the first 7 minutes of this movie are kind of a pseudo remake of the previous movie, which, to be clear, was played completely straight and as a horror film. Yeah. And it is a genuinely scary horror film, although it looks very cheap now and then, but it's genuinely scary. But they retcon most of the movie because he had 3 other friends that were at the cabin at the same time. They're not in this movie. He saw that the bridge was already out in that movie, so they kind of redo that movie. And he decapitates his girlfriend with the shovel, same thing. But this one's like, okay, we're just going to tweak it a little bit in this one. And this movie begins kind of when he gets possessed at the beginning of the movie. That's when the last movie ended. And then it becomes its own thing from there. But very different tonally. My favorite, though, is for some reason her body totally desiccates despite her head being fine. And she's so, possessed, man. I mean, yeah, but like her head's fine. But so she has like he gets totally like gross when he gets possessed. Yeah, that's true. But so she does it, like they do this thing where like claymation, it comes out of the ground. Yeah. And then it does this whole like dance sequence where it's like it's around, the head rolls onto it, and it feels very like Nightmare Before Christmas, like what's the Tim Burton-y, and then she does this whole dance thing, and then she just goes wee and jumps and like fades away, and I was like, what the hell is going on in this movie? Oh, it's such, and the noise she makes when she jumps away is one of my favorite. It's so silly, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, that's what just makes it so fun, because rewatching this, I was just like, you're just constantly laughing out loud during it. It's just so much fun to watch some of the over the top moments that happen.
It's wild because so much of this movie rests, I mean, the entire first half rests on the performance of Bruce Campbell in this movie, who is fucking phenomenal in this movie. Physical comedy, I would argue, on the level of Jim Carrey at his height.
He does
Yeah.
feel very Jim Carrey. I feel like Jim Carrey had to pull some stuff because, like, also he's got the chin, that
Yeah.
unit of a chin.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
looks like he's like Jay Leno's brother, like just like dung, out here with this unit sticking out of his face.
Lanterns are jealous of this jaw on Bruce Campbell. But
Mhm.
yeah, he's also such a great physical comedian. Apparently, that whole kitchen scene where his hand gets possessed, one shot, one take,
No.
That's
improv.
wild.
And it was just
Wow.
him fighting his hand, and he just knocked it out, forward flips and all. And he it's
That cracked
incredible.
me up when he stabbed his hand, and he's like, "Who's laughing now?" And
Oh,
like,
that's-
it's so great.
Well,
one
also,
of the most quotable movies of all time.
they've got it's crawling towards the butcher knife. He's got the butcher knife right there, and instead of going for the butcher knife that he could get a clean cut in one swing, he goes, "You know what I need? The chainsaw."
Which is that's the definition of this movie right there. Is we could go
Oh
for
my
the butcher knife.
god!
Mhm.
No, we're going for the chainsaw. Yeah, dude. Woodshed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, and some of the ADR is so bad. Like, I remember
yeah.
the kitchen, like, he's like making grunting noises. His mouth is completely shut and just holding still. It's like, like, his mouth is completely shut. He goes up to the
Apparently-
woodshed. There's the outline of the chainsaw.
The chalk outline of the
I
chain.
love
what-
that.
It's what the fuck. Apparently, when Bruce Campbell got onto the set of Escape from L.A. with Kurt Russell, the first thing Kurt said, he went up to him and he said, "Say woodshed." Say. I love that.
So
Yeah,
dumb.
and as I said, it's one of the most quotable movies of all time. Some of the lines in this, groovy,
Groovy.
you know.
That whole
We need that as a
Rambo
sound
prep
effect,
scene
is what we need.
So good, like him just prepping to take on the witch down in the bit, like
Yeah.
to go down below, like that whole prep and putting the chainsaw in his hand is just
Chew on this.
so
Yeah.
good.
It's there's so many amazing sound effects and one-liners in this. I remember my computer when I was in college, you could like set your sound for different actions on your computer, like when you hit like an error button and it would usually go bonk, right?
Yeah.
I had that set to go, "Oh, you know, from this movie." Like it was all Evil Dead 2 sound effects and one-liners, because this movie is just, it's so full of them. It's just, for me, it's a movie of just pure joy, because there's just hideous, over-the-top hyper violence mixed with absolute slapstick comedy. It's just a perfect combination of things. It's wonderful. It's peanut butter
really
and chocolate.
It really is.
It's absolutely. And what's also, let's throw it out to Sam Raimi, because the directing is so innovative. And this is way before he did Spider-Man. This is before Quick and the Dead. All the movies that he's famous for.
I forgot he did Quick and the Dead. Have you seen that movie, Ryan? Quick and
Never
the
heard of
Dead?
this movie.
It's such a good
Bro.
Western. Oh my god, it's so good.
It's amazing. And the cast is absolutely ridiculous. Well, a little aside from the horror, to shout out Quick and the Dead, which is just, it's every single person you see in that movie. It's ridiculous, man. Gene Hackman is the bad guy, a young
Ooh.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Sharon Stone
Sharon
at
Stone.
her height, her peak, Russell Crowe before he was anything big, like Gary Sinise, and the secondary
yeah.
cast. It's ridiculous from top to bottom. But what a movie. But all of that started with Evil Dead, and then with Evil Dead 2. This had, I think, 10 times the budget of the first one, and you can see what he just was like, let's have
Let's
some
go.
fun. Here's the question,
Yeah.
though. Is there anything in this that actually feels like horror? Or like, does it set a tone where we can just have fun the entire time?
There were a couple moments that did feel horror, and I think it's when he takes advantage of a good jump scare. I thought that the part that we just laughed at, but where he's looking for the chainsaw, and then the decapitated body comes in running. Like, even though that's silly and wildly ridiculous, as the moment that it happens is horrifying. Like, it is horrific. Like, it is a good earned scare. I thought, like, she comes in and she's wielding it. I like jumped at it. I forgot about that moment. So like, there's different moments of horror, but I think the comedy does kind of rule over those elements. There was
Yeah.
never really like a scary moment in this movie for me that I felt like genuinely like scared. I just felt like I was anticipating the next moment, but I was more looking forward to the fun and the excitement of what was coming up, as opposed to the tension that was, I guess.
It teeters, I think is what it does, of like it kind of rides the comedy line. But like to your point, in the shed scene, him sawing his girlfriend's head in the vice is super horror level, and it's cheesy and it's silly, but it's definitely leaning much more horror than it is comedy. That part's not funny. It's just like dark, or like the shot that I thought was one of the more like horror spooky vibe ones is he's looking in the mirror trying to like establish himself, like, and he reaches through the mirror and starts talking to himself, and you're not sure if he's imagining things or losing his mind. Like, that was a cool shot as well. I think there's definitely moments, but so much of the goings on are just so ludicrous in nature and silly and dumb that it's hard to have that gravitas that would normally come with like the true tension of horror.
It's funny because, you know, while we say that, we're talking about if there's anything in this movie that scares us. When I was young and I saw this movie, there were two things that freaked me right the hell out. One, the big head at the end coming through the doorway and chewing at him. That was terrifying. That was freaky. That was this Lovecraftian, nightmarish outer entity coming into the house. Like, that was, you know, when he looks at it and it turns his hair white. So cool. I love the effect and the kind of the lore behind that, if you will. But, you know, but there's the one scene that I think it was the beginning of my fear of bipedal deer, or like, you know, living deer. And it's the stupid deer head on the wall. When it comes to life.
That deer head's uncomfy.
Yeah.
The white eyes, and it's like laughing at him.
That whole laughing scene is like ridiculous, but it's really uncomfortable. And it goes on for a long time.
Yeah, like it becomes funny when he's like laughing along with them and everything, but the second that deer goes and like looks at him and goes,
that whole room's very uncomfy.
Yeah, I'm pulling up into my intestines just even thinking about it. But all right, boys. So apparently we enjoyed the comedy in this movie. We enjoyed the violence. That was unrated. It was so violent when it came out. Was there anyone that we didn't like? Anyone we want to give a fuck that guy award to?
Before we do move on to that, I just want to say one thing I did also enjoy was the cinematography of it. I thought this was shot surprisingly well. There's like so much comedy and over the topness going on in terms of the practical effects, but I was just blown away by some of the way that he lit it, and like the EC Comics, like sort of like like there was some lighting techniques that I was like, this looks like a frame from a comic book, like that, like a Tales from the Crypt type, like, or Creep Show type of comic. I was just like, I thought it was really well done. So it led me to look up. I was like, who is this cinematographer? And the guy is Peter Deming. Yes. And so he came in early to shoot this, but he ended up going on to help Wes Craven. And like he helped, like, what I didn't know this about Scream, but I guess Wes Craven and the original cinematographer of Scream had a disagreement, and this guy came in and helped film the rest of Scream. He did Scream 2, but he was a huge collaborator with David Lynch. All of David Lynch's like Mulholland Drive, the Twin Peaks stuff, Lost Highway, all that is this guy, and you can see that in this. I was just like blown away with the camera work in this, and just had to see who this guy was. So
the texture too, like some of the stuff where it's like all dark in the cabin, like there's such depth to the room.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful looking for sure. And also Raimi is such a great director in terms of how dynamic his camera is in every movie.
Yes,
in every movie, his camera is so mobile, and a lot of that, it's incredible because the first Evil Dead, if you go watch that. Most of that he was just shooting off the cuff and just being creative. Like, how do we shoot this? I don't know. Let's throw a camera on a board and run through the forest, or put it on a bicycle, or I'll strap it to my head and run after Bruce Campbell, or whatever. They were making up things like put it on a board and slide it down a hill.
Yeah.
They were making up things to get these shots because I want it to look like this in my head. So let's make up how we're going to do that. You can see in this movie all the creative ways that he gets shots and angles and like transfers from one scene to the next. Even when he's chasing him through the doorways, there's these little hidden cuts. And that's a technique that I don't think was in use in major movies for a long time after that. But he was just doing it almost like naturally. in this
So
movie. Just
great.
incredibly creative director, Sam Raimi, when he was at his peak. At his peak. Ryan, is there anything you want to call out about this movie that stood out to you as being particularly impressive, or that you just didn't like, maybe?
I mean, to your point, I thought the cinematography was very good. I think that there's some of it that's a little dated. Of like the chasing camera is very cool, and they did a lot of cool stuff with it. But there's like at least one or two shots. Particularly one where it's pulling out into the forest backwards that just goes on forever, and you're like, okay, we get it. You're going back into the forest. We can barely see the house anymore. How deep do you want us to go? Like just a little
shows
bit.
How deep the woods are. I love that shot. But I mean,
but like it's just like I think we get the point pretty quickly. But also on the flip side of that, we have the thing where he's like carried off into the woods and he's like spinning in front of the camera. And although the effect hasn't aged very well, it's cool that they were able to accomplish it at all, and it feels kind of novel, especially for its time period and like the rest of the movie. There's definitely some very cool stuff. I don't know if it all sold for me. I think that like it had. I think the thing is the movie had charm. I just don't know if I could like really get into all of it in terms of like I said, the cheese could be hard to swallow sometimes. There was definitely some weird inconsistencies of stuff of like they were going for specific effects, but then I would like notice something. I'm like, that's really weird, and that wasn't there before or whatever. And like stuff would just bother me. But like, and I think honestly, I had a tough time with Bruce Campbell. I kind of found him. I personally kind of found him annoying in this movie.
Oh,
like,
no,
he's funny and he's cheesy and like there's some very like well delivered lines or whatever. But also I feel like he's just so hyper serious about it that like the comedy is there, but it also makes it hard for him to be very likable as a character personally.
Oh no, Ash is not likable as a character. The more that the series goes on, you realize Ash is terrible.
Yeah, he kind of sucks.
Like, yeah.
But that's him. He's like the unwitting hero guy, right?
I mean,
that's
but like you can root for an unwitting hero. I'm kind of like, I'd be okay if this guy died. Like he's not like.
Wait till you see when you see Army of Darkness and they fully kind of grasp what they want Ash to be. That's when because that's the movie they really like lock in. Okay, Ash is a dick. He's a goober. You know what I mean? Like, and they really lock in on it more. So I think watching that and coming back to this, you see like kind of the germination of it, and it makes more sense. Maybe. I don't know, but yeah,
I think a lot of and like
know.
The way he just like screams at stuff, and it's like like it's I would say beyond 11. It's like to like 13, and you're like, oh, okay, man.
Well, and if you watch the Sam Raimi movies, he does turn everything to 13. It's what he wants, and he's notorious for being a sadistic director too. You know, you can see how many times this movie, like, he makes things as uncomfortable for Bruce as possible, whether it's blasting him in the face with the blood, which apparently Bruce Campbell said was like being waterboarded.
Oh, that's terrible.
The shot that you were just talking about, Ryan, where he's getting, flipped around in front of the camera. They just had him on a rig.
Yeah. And
they were just flipping him around, and Raimi was beating him with tree branches, and the scene at the beginning where he goes face down in the puddle and he's holding his breath forever.
Yeah.
And Raimi was like, don't come out until I, tap the foot or whatever. And he was under there until he was almost drowning.
Oh,
Raimi's notorious. If you watch any of his movies, like, he punishes his actors. Drag Me to Hell, the things he did to that poor girl in that movie. Like, he's notorious for it. And it as a result, it makes for some testy actors. So I wonder if that came through in Bruce's performance.
Maybe.
Wow.
Bruce being like, I'm so sick of this shit.
The fact that you mentioned that, I wonder if that one actress actually just got dragged across the ground of the forest, like the vine.
Dude, when the chick was getting pulled in the forest by the tree,
I wonder if she was just actually just dragged her across the ground.
It was a stunt man being dragged by a Jeep, I think, as I recall.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty hardcore.
Jesus Christ.
That's why he got Bruce to do this stuff. Bruce and he were childhood buddies. I mean, they grew up together, cool. So it's probably one reason why he wanted to torment him. It's crazy how much this was like a family production. He had a lot of friends. Rob Tapert was the producer of this movie, and he was roommates with one of Sam Raimi's brothers.
Oh, wow.
And Tapert actually has gone on to produce a ton of things, including creating, writing, directing Xena Warrior Princess and Hercules. He's married to Lucy Lawless. Actually,
oh, really?
The producer of this movie, yeah.
Who is Lucy Lawless?
Xena
Warrior Princess.
So there you go.
Yes. Yeah. And actually, the Henrietta, the mom in the basement, when she was not a little old lady, when she was the creature, was actually Sam Raimi's brother. Remember Ted Raimi, who got squished by the box in Wishmaster at the beginning?
Oh, he was the witch?
He was the witch.
That's
and he was in that
awesome.
huge latex suit. And unlike Evil Dead 1, where they filmed it in the dead of winter and were freezing and huddled up in a cabin in the woods and having a miserable time, in Evil Dead 2, they did it in the middle of summer. So it was a heat wave when they were having a miserable time. And poor Ted in this outfit was sweating so much. There's actually a scene at the end where he's whipping around. You can see his sweat pouring out of the costume.
Oh my
He was just drenched in sweat inside that damn thing. It's so, yeah, very much like a family affair. And I think the Coens even had something to do with this movie as well. I have to look that up again. But I know that he was roommates with one of the Coens, Joel Coen.
Oh, that's cool.
At a point, and helped them get their Blood Simple made around the same time. So, yeah, lots of people involved in this movie. Lots of love going into this. But there are some people in this movie that we don't love. In fact, some people in this movie that we hate. And some people that we want to say, fuck that guy. Who do we give the fuck that guy award to in Evil Dead 2? I got a couple of good nominees, that's for sure. Maybe Ryan wants to give it to Ash himself.
Ryan. Wow.
I'm trying to think of the guy who was the hillbilly guy who was in love with Bobby Joe.
Jake.
I don't know. Jake. Fuck Jake.
With his 3 teeth.
That's my guy. That's my guy
Jake
too.
Sucks.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But he was such a sweet guy. He was in love with Bobby Joe, a chick that was way out of his league.
I mean, that's true. That doesn't make him a good guy. That just makes him lucky.
Not very lucky. He got stabbed in the chest with a knife because she mistook him for being Bruce Campbell.
Which I was so expecting the knife stab to do something. I was like, the cursed spine knife that's with the Book of the Dead. He just got stabbed in the chest. He's gonna turn into a demon or something crazy, and he just died. But
no, he just died. But the knife gets a lot of work. The knife takes out 2 people in this movie.
That's true.
That's true.
Pretty good work for that weird knife, you know. Yeah, so both of you guys agree.
That was my choice too. I mean,
he sucks.
Jake.
He sucks.
He sucks.
See, I'm gonna say Professor Noby, the dad. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Out loud.
I'm gonna go into the woods and I'm just gonna read this evil book out loud. This is supposedly
and record it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This supposedly brings back the spirits of the dead and curses anybody who speaks the words. I will now speak the words aloud into this microphone and then leave it here.
This is the correct pronunciation of the cursed words for anybody looking.
Idiot. You moron. What are you doing? It's
Can we go one step further and point out the fact that he does it, his wife dies, and then he goes back and records like, I have made a horrible mistake and would like to put on he doesn't re-record over the beginning. He doesn't cover up
just
the words. He just goes like, I would like to state for the record that this was a bad idea.
Whatever you do, don't play the part I just recorded before this that I will leave so that you can tell when it's there.
I buried her in the basement.
Which is such a great moment when Ash is down there and goes, huh?
Yeah.
Wait, what now? There's what down here? Say again? Huh?
Also, the fact that he repeats it twice, like in case you didn't hear me.
That's a good horror moment. Even though there's some comedy, but her rising and the editing in this was top notch too, especially with the sound screaming to not they did some good stuff.
Or honestly, the moment where it turns back into the mom. That's a pretty brutal horror moment.
Hush, little baby, don't
like that one's pretty. Yeah. That has no humor to it at all. That one's just dry horror. You're like, fuck that.
Yeah, good stuff all around. Love this movie. Well, that brings us to the time on the show where we give the show its name. This is why you died. And the name of the show, we got to figure out why people died in a dumb way in Evil Dead 2, which, you know what? Everyone in this movie dies because of something dumb, because that damn professor read the freaking book. But do we have other ways people die in this movie, boys? Ryan Ross Live, what do you think? Why don't you take point again?
I'm going to go with Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe. She's in the house with everybody. They have a team plan. They're all grouped up, and she gets scared for one moment. And what does she do? She flees the safety of the group in the building and goes, I'm going to run into the forest. The forest, which we've already pointed out the path has disappeared from. The forest where things have already been breaking through the windows to get to you. I'm going to run into the forest and pray for salvation. And it does not come.
Bobby Joe, very cute, based on Holly Hunter, actually, but not very bright. Not very bright.
Not at all.
Character. At least she was spared the fate of the similar character in the Evil Dead 1, who was raped by the trees before being tried with her death. Yes, much worse in the first one.
A lot of trees.
They kept it kind of fun and funny in this one. We're like, it's just burrowing into her face and dragging her at high speeds across the
and they don't even show her death. They just kind of imply that she hits a tree.
Yeah, or dragged into the darkness inside the tree or whatever.
Well, they have a like crack sound, and they cut to a crack in the. It's implied.
She could have been eaten. The tree has a face. We find out later. True. Dan Marcha. Well, see, actually, it's your movies, Dan. So you can go last. Let's see. Why did someone die in this movie? I'm trying to remember who. Let's see.
You've got pretty much everyone.
Well, no. Well, I know everyone's dead except for Ash, but Sarah, the daughter, right? Yep. Never turn your back on a possessed hand.
Yeah,
true.
Those little bastards are they are persistent, and somehow they can levitate and stab you in the back with a knife. You have to keep especially that one. Ash's hand is particularly wily.
Yes.
He can,
I'm telling you,
make gouts of blood come out of the wall.
These directors taking things that have no jumping capability and are less than 6 inches high and somehow reach upper bodies. Just saying, we've covered it before.
Oh no, Dan Marcha Madness. Why did someone die in Evil Dead 2?
I think you go back to the beginning almost and just don't break into a cabin that you don't have access to, because like if you're breaking and entering. You could end up dead, and that's what happened to his girlfriend.
She was like, in to have a sexy weekend with your girlfriend. I mean, that's
and you end up decapitated. So,
well, to be fair, everything was going well until he pressed the button.
True, but she did tell him to press play. She's like, "Listen to it."
That's true. That's true. It's all the girlfriend's fault.
She's like, "Just play it," and he's like, "All right."
What, Linda? It's all Linda's fault. They would have been fine if not for Linda.
Well, also, they have the tape recorder, and he just left the book there. Like, this evil book that killed my wife. I'll just leave it on the desk next to the recording.
Well, wasn't it implied that he was taken by the demons, and so that's why he's left?
But like you would think he had enough time to record a second message. He had enough time to go like, I've made a mistake, and not like burn it. Like do something,
right?
Dude.
Right. No.
Oh man.
No, because then we wouldn't have a movie, and it wouldn't be any fun whatsoever. So we got to have the dumb deaths to make the movies, and that's why we love them so much. Oh my God. Boys, it's time to rate Evil Dead. We got Evil Dead 2 to be specific. We got to give Scully awards to Evil Dead 2. Ryan Ross Live. Once again, I'll start with you. What Scully rating? He's shaking his head. I'm scared already.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are going to be terribly happy with me on this one.
No, Ryan.
I'm going to go a 7.5.
Okay.
I think that the thing is like, it's good, it's cheesy, it's definitely laugh out loud funny at some points, mostly because it's dumb. It's really laugh out loud dumb sometimes. It's the cheese can be fun, but sometimes it goes a little too cheesy. There's definitely some weirdness where the scene where he's shooting the hand in the wall and then it starts spraying blood, like one shot, it's an internal wall, and then they turn back, and it's got 2 windows, and you're like, this blood is spraying from outside the house. Like, what?
It's a possession. It's Evil Dead.
It's
like,
a weird wall change. Why would you change the wall? Just keep it one wall. That's so obnoxious.
What?
And so there's
Wow.
just like little weird things like that throughout the movie of like can we, this is the most robust cabin I've ever seen in my life. It has so many rooms, all of which have intertwining doors into each other. They do the chase scenes and he like constantly has doors to pivot into random rooms, and it's got this full basement where like he is able to go a good length across the basement of this little tiny cabin in the woods. There's just a lot of really silly, dumb stuff in it. And like, I couldn't get fully behind it. And part of that too was the fact that I couldn't really get behind Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell was good.
Oh my God.
He was entertaining. But it was also kind of annoying. And like, it's tough to get behind. God. It's tough to watch a whole movie where you're not behind the person on screen the majority of the movie. This is totally my opinion. I don't think it was a bad movie. I do think that there was a lot about it that was very good. Especially cinematography wise. I think the practical effects and the makeup were very good. I thought it was only okay. So 7.5 from me.
Yeah. This is one of the good reasons why we don't record this in the same room, you know? There's not any kind of throwing of things at other people, but
maybe someday.
Maybe someday. I'm actually kind of surprised that you had a beef with the cabin itself, and not the fact that they didn't tell anyone that they were going to a cabin in the woods.
Yeah.
No, well, to be fair, he was trying to go have a sexy weekend with his girlfriend and like be away. Like I understand the intention there, but yes, to your point, like it's not their cabin.
Wait. Do you have to do like wilderness tips for breaking into evil cabins
How
in the woods?
How not to die in the woods, right?
Okay.
How not to die in the woods.
Go for it.
Don't go into strangers' fucking cabins in the woods. Dumb decision. You have no idea what's in there. They straight up are like, what if somebody comes back? Like, clearly they have a chainsaw in the shed and there's a shotgun that he pulls out. So at any point, if they came back, they would be dead to rights. Very, very bad news. Let alone the fact that then we're like, there's only one road in and out of here. There's a single bridge. There's a mystery trail that vanishes into the ether because of evil woods, ? There's nobody knows where this place is except for like a handful of people and the two hillbillies who are like, hey, you want to go to that one cabin up the hill? And then he's hunted by shit in the woods the whole time, and one of them gets eaten by evil trees. Like, there are other remote places you could go to have sex. Like, you don't have to go into some stranger's cabin in the middle of the woods. Like,
this is the greatest, like Ryan's how not to die in the woods tips ever. Is like, if you want to have sex, don't do it in a random cabin with shotguns.
Go get a mountain resort. Like, go to the Shining Hotel. It would be safer than this.
Maybe don't do that either.
Oh, wow.
My goodness.
It'd be safer than this.
Ryan, I think you've had better wilderness tips. These sound like don't follow hillbillies into the woods. Actually, never mind. That is actually a really good tip.
That is a good tip.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Don't go in strangers' cabins. Don't follow hillbillies into the woods. Plan a better location where there's actually some reason to be there.
That tip actually fits most cabin in the woods horror movies.
That's
those
true.
Tips.
See, you're hassling me, and I'm just saying.
But
almost every
you're right.
one of them.
Evil Dead created the paradigm of the cabin in the woods, and Ryan has just told everybody how to avoid that paradigm. Well, I'm gonna have to disagree with Ryan Ross Live. 7.5 my eye. This is a pure 9. It's a classic. It's an all-time classic. This and Reanimator single-handedly created the splat stick subgenre. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite subgenres. I laugh out loud every time I watch this movie. It's one of the most quotable movies of all time. I love this movie top to bottom. And I'm not a big fan of Sam Raimi's other output by and large. Like, he's got some really good movies and some movies that I can't stand. This is, I think, an all-time classic, and I love the fact that we got to watch this again. I've seen it so many damn times, and I'll always watch it when it's on, and I'll always enjoy every second of it when I do. I love Bruce Campbell in this movie. I love the slapstick. I love the humor. I love the cheese. I love him overacting to a 13 out of 10. It's magnificent. 9, I love Evil Dead 2. Dan, I imagine you might as well because you picked the movie for this week. Dan Marcha Madness, what Scully rating do you give to Evil Dead 2?
Gotta be the highest. I'm going 9.5. I love this movie.
Wow.
It's so much fun. It's so well shot. I think Bruce Campbell is a joy to watch entirely through this whole movie. I mean, yes, he is a dick, but I think that's what makes him that character. Ash is so incredible.
Yes.
It's the birth of this icon now. I mean, I think that the practical effects are amazing. The acting is ridiculous and over the top. The setting is so good. Like, yes, the effects can be dated, especially the claymation, thing
It's
but it's a 40-year-old
old.
movie.
Yeah.
So like you can forgive it for that. I think it's very innovative. You can see shots from Spider-Man in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like the camera work, like you see how it influenced the superhero Marvel genre would not be a thing without this, because his vision influenced so much of the comic book movie and style that that has influenced everything that we've seen from now and since. And I think he captures it so well. This is one of those movies that you can just put on anytime and just it's so much fun.
And it's funny because you say that you can see it in Spider-Man. It's funny to go check out his movie Darkman, which he made around this time too,
yes.
with Liam Neeson, and that kind of shows a lot of his comic book chops and a lot of the Spider-Man shots even before that as well. So watching this and Darkman back to back are a really cool double feature as far as Sam Raimi goes. But all right, there it is. Pretty good ratings for Evil Dead 2, even with the 7.5. Statman, what was our average for this one?
We came out to an 8.5 overall.
All
yes.
right. I'd say that's pretty solid for Evil
pretty
Dead 2.
Pretty good. I feel like it should be higher. But
God damn it, Ryan. But no,
I will be the anchor.
You'll pull us all down. Well, I'm glad we got to this movie. That was a really fun one. But that means that, Dan, you are out of a prompt. There it is, your
my
big Sinners.
Oscar-winning popcorn bucket.
That's right, Sinners bucket. While you're picking that out and getting ready to pull your next prompt, let's talk about what we have coming up. I'm going to announce my pick for Mexico coming up in just a couple of seconds here. And then, Ryan, what are you sitting on right now?
I'm sitting on Classic.
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 That's
very
crazy.
Very wide and easy prompt, which is so refreshing. After what I've been through recently, I will take a nice cakewalk of a prompt.
Oh, I bet. But the only problem with this one is narrowing it down.
I'm pretty close. I've got a couple.
Yeah?
I'm just deciding which one.
Okay, well, I'm very excited. We're going to hear what that is
your
on the next episode. And Dan, Marcha Madness, would you like to tell us what you have drawn from your bucket of the beast?
I haven't even looked at it yet. Here we go.
Oh.
I'm so thrilled with this.
Okay. Oh, what is it? What have I?
Woods.
Ooh. Woods. Why do we keep getting prompts that would have been good for the movie that we just watched?
That's true. There seems to be a theme for season 3 so far.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. Woods. Well, I guess we're going to go back to the woods.
I don't know. Maybe we might have to go find a witch. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I know Ian's not a big fan of that one, but we'll find out.
I hate that movie so much, Dan. It would really be a terrible show if you were to pick the witch. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Not the witch.
Don't do that.
I'm talking about a witch from a town called Blair.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, no. Okay, no, remember
That's why I knew you didn't like that one. But I could go Eggers. I could go The Witch, and that could be...
Which you could do.
Probably the better choice.
You could go Cabin in the Woods.
That's true.
Which
was going to be a lot funnier after seeing a couple of these movies and the progenitors with Evil Dead. But all right, Dan. Well, you've got a couple weeks to think of what you're going to do for Woods, and I am now going to announce what I've got for my pick for next week. And as I said, I have the prompt Mexico, and this was surprisingly hard to come up with. Because as much as I thought that there was going to be just like a metric shit ton of Mexican horror movies,
there's not.
There's a good chunk of them, but like I wanted to find one that was kind of like iconically Mexican, and like there's a couple of versions of La Llorona, but like there's not really any one that I was like, this is going to be the defining La Llorona movie. Like even the Blumhouse one was kind of crap. And then the other one that was really good that came out a few years ago wasn't Mexican, Guatemalan, I think.
Well, I was going to offer you a suggestion because one of Sasha's favorite horror movies of all time is Spanish, but she thought maybe it would be a good one for this, and then we looked it up, and it isn't. It has nothing to do with Mexico. It was made in Spain, but Guillermo del Toro helped produce it, so it was close. It was close.
Which one was that?
It's called The Orphanage.
The Orphanage.
Oh my god,
yeah.
I love Orphanage.
Orphanage
She
is great.
loves
So
The
good.
Orphanage.
It is very definitively Spanish, and there's
Correct.
so
It
many
is not
Yeah.
Mexican.
And I wanted to stay away from Guillermo del Toro because he is just like, he's kind of like the Mexican horror director, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to find something that was.
And he
looked at
didn't
Mexico
direct it, he
Barbaro.
produced it.
Right. Well, but I mean, he has a couple of great like horror
Yes, of
movies that
course.
are Mexico. You know, like Kronos takes place in Mexico. But it took me forever to kind of like nail down what I wanted to do, and I finally just went with the one that was the kind of the most recent and the most popular, and also I think really poignant, and that's Tigers Are Not Afraid from 2017. Yeah. And it's very much inspired by Guillermo del Toro, and also I think says a lot. It's got a lot going on that I feel is very much about Mexican horror, what that actually kind of means, and the way that it's really entwined in Mexican culture. So I'm excited to actually watch this movie because it's in some ways it's barely a horror film. It's definitely a horror film, but it's barely one too, because it also uses some of the magical realism and fairy tale structure that you see in Guillermo del Toro movies, but that also I think is kind of iconically representative of like the Mexican concept of horror, which is very uniquely Mexican because of their history, which we can get into on our next show, and I'm really excited to talk about.
Also, female director, yes?
Isa Lopez, yes. Yeah, very, very good. And not her first movie. She was known for chick flicks before this one. So kind of a nice digression for her to go to something a little more serious. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing this one to you guys. Very cool movie. Very, very cool movie. Beautiful movie. And also
good choice.
Disturbing. Yeah. So Tigers Are Not Afraid will be coming up on it's actually the Mexican name for it is Vuelven. They return. So
interesting.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the Spanish language version, look up Vuelven. But it's pretty much everywhere as Tigers Are Not Afraid. It was on Shudder for a while. I don't know if it still is or not. But that's coming up on the next episode. Tigers Are Not Afraid. But that is it for this episode. Boys, do we need to do any last minute business? I think we do. Dan, tell them where they can find us. And Ryan, let's talk about some Patreon.
We got to go to beacons.ai/TIWYD pod. That's where you can get all of our links to listen to our show and watch us on our YouTube channel and check out our merch store. We have brand new merch. We got a new logo.
We do.
It's all over our merch, so you got to check it out. Thanks to big Ryan Ross over there who helped set that up. So thank you, Ryan, for putting that together.
And thanks to Hermes.
I was going to say, big shout out to Hermes for designing the new logo.
Big shout out.
Love the logo. It's so cool.
Very cool.
And buy my sticker because I want to win this game that we've got going on. Whoever buys the most.
You cheap bastard sliding that in. Yes, we all have stickers of our individual skulls as designed by the legendary Hermes, and whoever sells the most wins something. We don't know where they're winning yet, but the bragging rights. So
we win a sticker. We win your sticker.
We win our own sticker.
Our own sticker. Oh God! And Ryan Ross Live. Tell them about Patreon.
We have a Patreon. We have various tiers available. Each of them are exclusive and have exclusive perks associated with them, as well as all the perks in the previous tiers. And they all give you various rewards. You can get access to our Discord community, where you're going to get discounts on the merch. You get access to our bonus content or our extended episodes, where we talk before and after each episode about whatever. Today it was cats and what was the other? We talked a lot about pets and animals on today's extended
riveting stuff.
Cats watching you poop.
We have a lot of wild tangents.
It's pretty funny.
In the extended. But our top tier is our dedicated benefactors. And of course, that gives you a personal shout out every single episode. So we'd like to shout out our first dedicated benefactor, our lovely CG. Thank you for your support. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you, CG.
And thank you to all of our other patrons for supporting the channel. We do have checkpoints that if we reach certain levels of patrons, we're going to unlock new capabilities for the show, such as recording live so you guys can tune in, or even potentially recording in the same room. You can add additional possessions to each season. So a lot of great reasons to subscribe. And even if you don't subscribe, we really appreciate you guys listening and spending time with us. This show is nothing without each and every single one of you, and we enjoy spending time with you, and we enjoy doing this. So thank you for spending time with us and sharing with our activities here.
Amen. And like we always say, if you make it this deep in the show, much thanks. We love you. Thank you very much for listening to our stuff. It's a lot of fun for us to make, and we're glad you enjoy it. So Thank you guys so very much. And we'll be back next week with Tigers Are Not Afraid. Ooh, looking forward to that. But for right now, we're going to head towards the exits of the theater. So for Dan Marcha Madness, for Ryan Ross Live, I am Sir Ian Dangerous. We will see you next time right here on
This is why you die.